When Palestinians are being executed right now on the streets of Gaza, they are lost for words. And with their silence, they exposed what their movement was about all along. These so-called pro-Palestinian movements, they do nothing to actually improve the lives of Palestinians. They just make American colleges dangerous environments for Jewish students, and they inject anti-Western, anti-democratic poison into our society. They use words like freedom and justice and human rights, but against Jews, anything goes, including a rape, murder, and hostage-taking. When it's against Jews, it's called resistance.
Noah Tishby, a renowned Israeli-American actress, does not hold back. She says it as it is. And we are so grateful to her for taking the stage and taking her talents and gifts that God has given her to talk the truth. Let's listen as Noah Tishby talks about just before the hostages are finally released and gives us some background on what the war is truly all about. Let's watch it together and we'll discuss it afterwards. Kindly subscribe to the channel so a little bit of light will push away a lot of darkness.
Please join me in welcoming Noah Tishby.
As I speak to you today, the war in Gaza is finally over. Yes. Thank God. Our living hostages are back home, and we are waiting the return of every single one that's left behind. We have a fragile ceasefire in place and renewed hope for peace in the Middle East. This was not a war that Israel wanted or started, but I want to be very clear. The hatred that we have seen around America and the world was never about the war. It was about Israel. The so-called pro-Palestinians taking over college campuses were screaming for the war to stop, but when that war actually ended, they seemed devastated. When Israel was forced to fight back, these people told us that they wanted a ceasefire. But when a ceasefire actually came, they showed us that they do not want to end the war. They want to end Israel. The campus radicals dressing up as terrorists, calling to globalize the Intifada, they don't care about Palestinian lives. When Palestinians are being executed right now on the streets of Gaza, they are lost for words. And with their silence, they exposed what their movement was about all along. These so-called pro-Palestinian movements, they do nothing to actually improve the lives of Palestinians. They just make American colleges dangerous environments for Jewish students, and they inject anti-Western, anti-democratic poison into our society. They use words like freedom and justice and human rights, but against Jews, anything goes, including a rape, murder, and hostage-taking. When it's against Jews, it's called resistance. The so-called Free Palestine movement, it's not about freeing Palestine at all. It's about destroying Israel. And it's not about criticizing Israel's actions, but it's about delegitimizing Israel's very existence. You see, Israel is the only country in the world where how it was formed, right? How it was formed is litigated and relitigated over and over again. Nobody goes back in time to relitigate how any other country was formed in order to delegitimize its current existence, right? So when you relitigate the creation of only the Jewish state, what does that mean? The double standard. It's a glaring display of Jew hatred. And it's just age-old anti-Semitism. Now think about it. No other state was formed with baking cupcakes or petting unicorns. Most states were born in turmoil and, sadly, in violence. Even our beloved United States of America. A great man once said, "Let him who is without sin cast the first stone." And no country is perfect. But it's only Israel that needs to explain her existence. All right, let's go back in time for a moment. We're going to go back to 1947. The Jews accepted the partition of the land. The Arabs rejected it. And then in 1948, when Israel was declared a state, 5 Arab armies invaded. And to this day, Israel's enemies resent that it withstood invasion, won that war, and survived. Now, also in 1947, the British left India, and India and Pakistan partitioned. 1 million or more people died, and up to 20 million were displaced. Yet I never hear anyone questioning India or Pakistan's right to exist. But Israel's right to exist is questioned every minute of every single day. And even now, decades later, we're asked to justify ourselves and apologize just for existence. And we're not going to do this anymore. We're just not. And you know what? They don't just deny the legitimacy of the Jewish state. They deny the very connection of the Jewish people to the land. The connection of the Jews to Israel. I know you get it, right? You're not confused about any of that. So let's be clear about this too. The Jewish people are indigenous to the land of Israel. I might be 4th-generation Israeli, but I carry 2,000 years of history that it connected to that land. And despite centuries of exile and displacement, and the land being occupied by foreign armies, Jews kept an unbreakable connection, bond, and presence in that land. Jews are indigenous to Israel. Denying our connection and our indigenuity to Israel is a lie. And the fact that we even have to debate it is absurd. Israel is not a colonialist state. It's not a colonial enterprise. It is the most successful indigenous land back movement the world has ever seen. So, we need to stand up tall and proud. We have to challenge the lies, and we have to speak the truth. Our legitimate disputes to be resolved. And we all hope that the ceasefire and President Trump's proposals will breathe new life into the search for peace with the help of God. We all need a better future. But for a better future to be possible, it has to be built on truth. And the truth is this. You can debate Israel's creation all you want. It wouldn't make a difference. Israel is here to stay. The Jews have come from Israel. The Jews went back to Israel. And the Jews are not going anywhere and will remain in Israel forever. Yesterday, today, and for the future. The people of Israel live. Am Yisrael Chai, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Noah. You are spectacular, spot on, and so beautifully well spoken. We respect you not just as an amazing star actress, but as an amazing human being who talks from the heart. Yes, 4 generations in being in Israel is definitely running through your blood, through your sinews, through your whole body. And it is so obvious. The way you spoke about the history and our ancestral right to the land of Israel is so right on. You were able to illustrate so clearly what rights the Jewish people have to the land of Israel. And we are there, we were there, and will always be there. And that is something which the world needs to appreciate and recognize and truly, truly, truly embrace the facts. You brought out a very good point. I live in San Diego, California. We border Mexico. It wasn't so long ago that San Diego belonged to Mexico. Yes, United States of America had a war, and we draw our borders with Mexico. Never ever has those borders been questioned again. The same thing is with Texas. You go through the whole southern border of America, there was a war. We conquered. We were stronger. We won. And this is America. Have we ever, ever, ever gone back and tried to retrack our records and once again question, is it really San Diego or is it really Mexico? I mean, no other country in the world has ever had to have gone back in days to decide what happened in that war. As you mentioned, war is violent. No one wants war, no one needs war. But when a country does launch an attack, as you open in your opening statement that October 7, we never asked for. October 7 came upon us. But we fought fiercely, not only to secure our border, but to get rid of the enemy, which we hope we could finally eradicate. As Douglas Murray says, when you have a fire in your house, you cannot extinguish just 80% or 90% of the fire, but you have to extinguish every last bit of burning embers in order so the fire doesn't erupt again. And that is exactly what Israel had to do with Hamas. But realizing since 1948, we didn't conquer a land. We didn't colonize Israel. Israel was with us 3,000 years ago. It is clear as day in the Bible, black and white, ink on parchment, very clearly. God says to Abraham, here is your land where you're going to live with your ancestry for all time. And that is exactly what Israel did. Israel lived there 3,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. And then the Romans drove us out of Israel and we were dispersed amongst the nations. And now in 1948, God did a miracle after the 6 million Jews that we lost so brutally in the darkest days of humanity in the Holocaust. We got to go back home. We came back to our ancestral right home of Israel. It doesn't belong to anyone else. No one else is there. Yes, we are the ones who lived in Israel all this time. So we came back to our home in 1947 and 1948. And then when they attacked us, we fought off so many wars over the last 77 years, and we were able to draw our lines of history. This is Israel. This is who we are. We are entitled to our country. We are entitled to our homeland. And we are entitled to have a secure and safe homeland. And that's all we want. Israel in the last 77 years has provided the world with more humanitarian advances than any other country in the world. Look what Israel has done for the world, because Israel has a mandate to be a light unto the nations. God told us at Mount Sinai, you, nation Israel, be a light unto the nations. You teach the world the reason of humanity. You teach the world the morals, the ethics of the Bible. You teach the world about God. You teach the world how to love each other and how to support living. You save one person, you're saving a world, because Judaism is committed to the living. And that's what Israel has proven itself over the last 77 years. And it's all of its innovations and inventions that it has brought advances in all areas of life, from agriculture to food production to recycling to water desalination, education, medical, technology, travel, defense. Just go through all areas of humanity. Israel's at the cutting edge to provide for the world. Israel doesn't ask what can the world do for Israel, but what Israel can do for the world. Just let us do a thing. Let us live and let live. And you'll see how much more we can give the world. So I think if we listen to Noah, she spoke so beautifully. Listen to it again and again. Let it sink in. so that you could be proud of who you are and who you are supporting. God bless you. God loves you.